Well, good morning, everybody. This is Charles Owen from Paladin Data Corporation. Welcome. We are going to be looking at the fall virtual user meeting presentation today. And this incorporates and shows you a lot of the things that we have added to the product, some specifically for ACE, other just general things. Some of these and most of these you'll probably have in play right now where they're actually in the software. Before I get started, I just want to make sure that you all can hear me and see my slide deck. So if all those three things work out, I got some hands, very good, I appreciate it. All right, so we'll just get going here. So again, real quick introduction, Charles Owen with Paladin, been here about 13 years. As I discussed, the topic we're gonna be going through are some of the features and new updates that are in the Paladin system. Time frame for this means about 30 to 40 minutes, I would guess. I'm gonna run through it really quick. Good news is, you can re-watch it as a recording. So if there's any interruptions, you have to help your customers, they obviously come first. Please do so, and then you can always go back and download this presentation. You can also share it with your coworkers as well. Any questions can be held off till the end. And if you want to put a question in, feel free to do so. There's a little button on the bottom that says questions or a little dialog box. Go ahead and put your questions in there. And let's go ahead and get started. So looking at slide number 1, we've got some new ACE features, which I will go over. And then we're gonna go and look at some of the 2021 releases. Like I said, some of these things you're probably familiar with already, you might even be using them. But I just wanna make sure that everybody, bring this to the attention of our customers, that these features do exist in Paladin today. We're constantly putting in features all the time. We've even got a new list of features that we'll be rolling out very shortly that have a lot to do with improving the PO or purchase order experience. So stay tuned for those. Below that, we have another whole long list of things which I'll be going over. And rather than just reading everything on the screen, we'll just jump into slide number 1, which is the new ACE features. So let's look at this, starting out with the ACE national account pricing discounts. So what you've got here is you have an opportunity to recall customers, ACE hardware customers, and if they have a national account with ACE, their pricing will be respected. Pretty cool. In addition to that, the in-store customer discounts on acehardware.com will actually flow into Paladin as well. So your customers can receive the same discounts that you offer them in-store via pricing plans assigned to their Paladin customer account when they shop at acehardware.com. So we're pushing up, not only are we bringing down information from national accounts, but we're pushing up information to acehardware.com so that you can share your exact same pricing that you have in-store with that virtual shopping experience. Pretty cool stuff. All right, in addition, this is a feature that was required by ACE. Anytime the ACE Rewards customers signed up, it's going to prompt them to accept the ACE Rewards terms and conditions. So they have to sign up for this in order to be an ACE Rewards member. And I don't think you'll get any pushback for this, but there's always ways to work around it. But ACE is requiring that every ACE customer complete this and fill it out and sign the document. All right, here we go. So one last thing, ACE protection plans purchased on acehardware.com are now coming down to Paladin. So Paladin will automatically add the part numbers that you need to be able to offer protection plans that are purchased on acehardware.com. There's not a whole lot you have to do here because this information is automatically brought down. Part numbers are required to store invoices for buy online, pick up in store purchases that include a protection plan. So again, pretty slick. These are all new features specifically for the ACE brand. And now let's get into some of the more general new features. We've got a pick list report. If you are doing orders, what is an order? An order is when you take an invoice quote and you convert it to an order. It's basically saying, hard code this order in there. This customer is going to buy everything on this list. I can now do buy down quotes where I can pull up the existing order and just buy it down as the customer wishes. So they may have, purchased 2 items today, 6 items tomorrow. the rest of it next week, where you're fully covered. That is an order. Now, if you need to see what needs to be fulfilled on an order and you want to generate a pick list for all of the orders, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see pick list. And if you click that, it will show you a pick list. And it's going to look something like this, where it's just a spreadsheet, sorts it right here by order and by unfulfilled items. By order, and includes order details such as customer, project, item quantity, and price. How about this? So if you've had a lot of quotes cluttering your system, you now have the capability to go in and tell the system to remove older quotes, older than whatever date you specify. Now, do note that if you specify a 0, quotes will never be deleted, and that's what the default is, by the way. So if you wish to go in and say delete everything that's 30 days or older, be careful, it will delete them 30 days and older, and you will not be able to recall those. So just be cognizant of that. You might want to set it to a nice conservative number just in case. But again, if you don't want to have the quotes automatically deleted, just set it to 0. Moving on to skipping signatures on mobile to checkout. So in the past, when you're doing a mobile to checkout, using the mobile to checkout application, on a tablet on site somewhere other than the store or out in the parking lot or at the swap meet or wherever you might be, you now have the ability to skip the signature. All right, moving on to the transaction report now includes rewards IDs. Not only rewards IDs, but any IDs that are associated with an integration like Rich Rewards, Volution, Plutarp, that sort of thing. So that's all we're doing is we're adding a few more columns here to give you information as to what integrations are set up for this particular customer. Now you're also able to send out an email to all of your charge customers in one fell swoop. So all you do is go to maintain, go to utilities, customer utilities, email charge customer, and you can come up and put in the content of your message here. When you send it out, oh, by the way, this is a, so backing up one screen, so the charge customer email utility, it just basically sends out an email to all of your customers that have a charge account or a credit limit, I should say, greater than 0. So if your credit limit is set to 1 cent, they will receive a notice from you via email instantly when you send out these notices. All right, moving on. So there's another feature we put in the system to limit the returns at checkout. So if you have a returned item and you do not wish the cashier to actually give them money back or give them write them a check or anything like that, you can have it to where it returns it against a charge only. So it allows an employee to refund a return as a store credit using the charge payment type only. In other words, they can't give them cash back. They can only put it on the books as, hey, they've got this as part of their store account. And that's all it does. So that's another feature you have an option to either activate for your employees or not activate. Collect on delivery, a new feature that we put into the delivery package, now gives you the capability to extend credit to a non-credit customer and also increase credit to somebody to a customer who's gone over the credit limit. And this is available through a COD feature that you must activate in Paladin. And the feature is available for these two scenarios: when a customer has no store credit and when a customer exceeds their store credit. All right, moving on to email purchase orders to any address. So prior to this, before this box popped up, you would have to manually put, or not manually, but you'd have to enter in setup an email for POs for a supplier. Now this gives you an opportunity to change that or add a new email as you send out purchase orders. So it gives you a little bit more freedom, and it also verify who's it's going to. If the address on file shows up and that's the one you want to send it to, you're good to go. Otherwise, you can manually enter an email address. Moving on, in multi-store environment, we have added a QR code to each individual store. Previously, before this update, there would be one QR code to be shared between all the stores. In this case, now you have the capability to set your own independent QR code per each multi-store location. Advanced lookup searches, now it adds a couple of things. It adds the ACH data if you're using ACH, and it also adds all the check fields, and the check fields, of course. So when you're doing a keyword search, it will look up names on the check, the account number, routing numbers, things like that. So it adds that to the search feature when you're searching for a customer under advanced lookup. GL summary, we now have new categories for Rich Rewards. So if you're using Rich Rewards, which is highly unlikely, being that you are an ACE store, more likely you are on ACE Rewards. We do have a handful of stores, however, that have chosen to go with Rich Rewards instead of ACE Rewards. And if that is the case for you, we are now breaking that out as separately. So before it used to be part of the cost of goods sold, and you know, in an expense account as well as an asset account in your inventory. And now we break it out as two separate issues, one asset account for coupons issued and one expense account for coupon issued. So it really helps clarify things. In addition, we have this new feature that we've had to incorporate for different states who have added what's called a tax holiday. Yes, they've even made it more complex when doing taxes. In this case, on the particular example that's used, we have a bicycle that's selling for $400. Well, it just so happens that for a particular period of time, this tax holiday offers tax-free up to $250 purchase of a bicycle. So what do you do with the rest of it? Well, you just go into tax holiday or Control-T. You can right-click as well and look for tax holiday on this drop-down list. And you'll see that it says enter the amount on this line that will of the price that will be sold without sales tax. In this case, we just write $250 and it takes care of the rest. All right, insufficient stock on hand or oversold alert, as we call it. This has been requested in the past. Now, we have improved this feature quite a bit. When we first rolled this out, it was basically tied to everything. Now we have it to where you can actually reduce the overstock message or oversold alert just to items that are in the yard or not in the store, right? So if they bring something up to the counter, you don't necessarily want to get an oversold alert because the item presumably is on the countertop and you're scanning it. So who cares if it says -1? You've got one that you're selling. You don't want to prohibit that from happening. You can turn it off for those in-store items and just activate it for the items that are not in the store. For example, soil or timber or lumber, or, building materials and things like that. And it just comes up and says, hey, do you want to update to the current quantity on stock on hand that we have in stock? And it will alter the quantity amount to reflect what you actually have in stock. Great feature. You can activate that very simply, or just call us. But it's under the going by memory, it's under the Setup, Maintain, Invoice, Store tab towards the bottom. All right, now Benjamin Moore program reports. So there have been several requests from stores that want to provide and participate in the Benjamin Moore programs. I guess they get discounts, they get some other benefits and perks for this. In addition, your salesperson that sells you Benjamin Moore products also will get benefits from this as well. So check that out. It's under the Access, under Maintain menu, and you'll find it in there. And I'm looking for, it says, yeah, so you'd have to set this up by just activating it and then setting up the parameters that it requires, and then it will generate the reports that you require and you request. And that's under, as you can see in that top left-hand menu here, it says under Maintain Utilities, Customer, it's hard to see, and then down below that it says Benjamin Moore OSR report. Customer Utilities, that's what it says. All right, so moving on, we've added a few item tags, bin tags in the system. We have an item tag that actually fits really well on jewelry and small parts. In that case, it's called barbell shaped tag. We do support those now, and we have a couple of new bin tags, bin tag number 41, bin tag number 42. It's amazing that there are that many, but there are, everybody wants a different barcode, so we have multiple to choose from. Good news is, you can get to all this information by looking under the portal.paladinpos.com or go under your help menu in Paladin, select knowledge base, and search for LTSR. LTSR stands for labels, tags, signs, and reports, and will show you a catalog of every single bin tag, item tag, shelf tag, report, and sign that we have available in Paladin. And there are at least 40 pages plus. All right, incremental part numbers. So if you wanted to have a secondary incremental part number or a alternate part number and you didn't have any UPC to tie it to, and you just wanted to create your own, we do that for you. So all you need to do is when you're adding a new inventory item manually, you just hit the button next X number, as you can see in that yellow highlighted box and arrow, and it assigns the next X number starting with X00001 all the way up through 99,000 and so on. This is available not only when you add it one by one, but also if you do it through the data viewer in the inventory import. If you use an inventory import, there's a new checkbox there that says, hey, automatically add all these X numbers, and it will sequentially add numbers as alternate part numbers. Moving on, we now have, you can export your sales into Excel. So if you go into the sale list, there was always an import button there, but there wasn't an export. Now there is. So now you can export your sale list, make modifications, and turn around and re-import it directly back in. So if you wanted to discount things 10% and you wanted to show that as a fixed price, you can do that very easily by hitting the export button, making those changes, and clicking import and going right back in. Description 3 is now also used in advanced lookup of the keyword search. So if you're doing keyword search lookup of an item, it's going to respect what you have in the description 3 field. Now, description 3 is in a different area under the general tab. You'll see it in the bottom right-hand corner. You might need to slide the bar down a little bit to see it, but the description 3 is typically used for long descriptions, typically used for e-commerce websites and integration. So we do have not only a direct integration with Volusion, but we now have an e-commerce API or application programming interface that you can write to, and it can take whatever information is in description 3, bring it to your website, or vice versa. So when you're searching for a part number or name or anything, it will now search that description 3 field looking for that information and returning the results to you. Accounting integration updates. So we have included, we now have a direct QuickBooks integration through the enterprise product, which we wrote directly to their API. No longer do we need to use a third-party integration company. It's direct from Paladin to QuickBooks. We also support QuickBooks Online as well. And in addition to that, Sage 50 Cloud and Microsoft Dynamics GP, the original Great Plains product. So looking at this, you now have the capability to not only push information nightly, that is all the roll-up information, but you can also have every purchase order that is closed in Paladin can push it over to a billable event with your general ledger or accounts payable system. So that's a really nice feature that you can activate. It is a separate option that you need to checkbox, but contact Paladin customer service if you have any more questions about that, need assistance. Moving on, Capital One Trade Credit rebranding. So this used to be Blue Tarp. Now they were bought out by Capital One. So we have changed the actual image and the logo on the F2 button when you are set up to do integration with a separate or independent company that will manage all of your accounts receivables. It's a really cool feature. It's a great product. It's a great company. Do check it out if you want it. If you're tired of managing statements, if you're tired of having all that liabilities sitting out there over your head, depending on your credit and your company and your type of business, they may actually be able to acquire your accounts receivable and put some money in your pocket. So check that out. In addition, we have some additional features that you can activate or deactivate for Description 2. So Description 2 is now something that you can control, either if you want it in the invoice and not want it on the receipt, you can set it up that way. If you don't want it on the invoice, you can turn it off as well and turn it off from the receipts. There's multiple different ways, but what we've added recently is a feature you'll see under File Setup, Invoice Store tab. It says Block Description 2 from Invoices. So you'll notice, particularly with ACE, they send a lot of information down through EDI, and they fill in that description 2 with, you know, product canceled or out of stock, or, you know, whatever they might say. You may not want to communicate that information on the actual receipt for your customer. Well, now you can turn that off. All right, so I was able to get through most of this in 21 minutes, which is pretty good, considering it was a lot of material. You'll notice here that you can find out more information about the releases. We now have an A, B, C, D, and we're coming out with E for 2021. And there's going to be a lot more information. So you'll see the links at the bottom. If you just copy that, put it in your browser, or you can go to the Paladin knowledge base and just type in 2021-A or -B or -C or just 2021, and it'll bring up all the release guides that you can review. All right, now I'm going to put in a little blurb for the next seminar, or the next webinar, which is happening on October 5th, and that is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, where how Paladin can help protect your business from online hackers and criminals. It's a great one to have during this month, of which is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and it will be led, I believe, by CJ, one of our resident experts on this particular topic. That is October 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And to sign up, just go to portal.paladinpos.com/webinars. You can sign up there, or you can go to the help portal within Paladin, select knowledge base, and sign up for webinars there as well. All right, so now we are moving into questions. If we have any questions, just add them now. I noticed that so far there are no questions. Pretty straightforward material, really not surprised. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it up here, guys. Again, I thank you so much for your attendance. Just the fact that you're attending tells me that you're interested in expanding and growing your business and your knowledge of Paladin, which can help you do that. We have constantly new features coming out, and the reason we do these user group meetings, in this case virtual at this point, is because we want to make sure that we share and you know all the new features that we've added in Paladin to increase your efficiencies, make your life easier, and that sort of thing. As always, you can go to find information about retailing, staying relevant, by going to Retail Science, and then the webinars. You can see all the webinars, including this webinar, which will be posted in the next 24 hours. And as always, thank you so much for your attendance. We appreciate it. God bless you, everybody, and have a great rest of the week. Stay safe. Take care.